copy. Long week, long busy week. So we had to postpone the day. I know we usually do it on Thursdays, but because of the busy week, we had to push it back to Friday. So adjusting to life, but keeping it going, keeping it moving. Wow. Black Label, dog. I'm weak. I'm weak. So that's really the gist of it. You've been hearing a lot of like laughing jokes and just humor from NBA players when they saw the whole golf situation or the soccer too. Um, Players being offered a wazoo amount of money from Saudi Arabia and things of that nature. And the fact that NBA players, again, they're jokingly saying it, but the simple fact of the matter is, I think if that league was to offer, let's say, Giannis or an American-born player and paid them that money like James Harden over there, I think they would go. And the reason why I feel like it was a good topic was the simple fact, like, imagine if a multiple All Stars was to do that. Would the NBA still be itself if that was to happen? Like, let's be real here. The NBA hasn't had any kind of competition in regards to um, stealing players from this league ever. Like, that's never been a topic ever. And now all of a sudden, again, it's just you hear it jokingly, but if it was to happen, I think it would be taken a lot more serious. So I just thought it was kind of ironic that people were jokingly saying it, but it's just like if they was offered that, they would go, because you'd be crazy if they offered Giannis 700 to 750 million for 5 years. Who wouldn't take that? I think you'll be stupid not to. Hmm. Yeah. Yup. Yup. It's crazy. It's just crazy. So it's like, imagine if three, four of them was pulled out, and let's say if it was like I said, American, um, American born. Let's say if it was like Jason Tatum, and he was to take a big contract to go over there, would you start to see that drift of players looking elsewhere for more money rather than just the broadcasting of just playing in America on what we think is the biggest stage, because it is talent wise the biggest stage. But again, we're talking about money that the NBA can't offer you yet. We're not at that point. I mean, the money they are offering is crazy, but we're talking about what you can make in 5 years, possibly. People never even would dream about, or like it'll be just crazy. It's just crazy just thinking about it. Yeah, agreed. Mm. You go about his business. Breaking news. Mm. I think it does. I think for Trey Lance, it is a good fit. He is young, obviously, going to a team that is kind of in that they always feel like they're in that win now stage. Um, their core is young. I feel like, and again, if he is able to build relationships within the organization, it puts more pressure on Dak. I think Dak needs that. Honestly, I think it'll be good for them, um, in and out for the team for both Dak and Trey Lance. I think it'll be good. I really do. Again, I if you recall from my predictions, I do have the Cowboys winning this division, and I think this would push Dak even better, even more rather, to play better. Like now, it's like it is a do or die for him. They're paying you all this money. You complained about this contract extensions for years. You got it, and now you still can't get out the first round. I think now is the do or die season for McCarthy, the head coach, and Dak. So I think with Trey Lance as the backup, if and also he is injury prone. So if he does go down and Trey Lance play good, you could see that who was that? Brett Favre situation where it's just like, all right, we're gonna go with the backup because he's playing good, and we don't want to we don't want to mess things up. We also saw that just now with Brock Purdy. So I feel like that situation can happen, and it puts pressure on Dak, and he needs that because he's just lackadaisical right now. I don't. Dak is not a 15 into season quarterback, and he's doing that for 40 plus million. So I think it puts pressure, and I think it's needed pressure. What's your take? No, I think he still gets this year to prove himself. I just think it again it just puts pressure on him to play better because if not, you have a young player that they could just say, screw it, we're going with this guy immediately and we're getting rid of your ass. So it puts a little bit more pressure on him because now they have something to actually threaten him with moving forward with. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I want to say third, but it could be I could be wrong. Yeah. No, that's facts. And let alone is more of like I said, it's more of a mentor. Brock Purdy, you're not doing anything in that system as a backup there. You know this guy just came in as Mr. Irrelevant and took your spot. Like you're Your time there was up. Like, let's be real. If you're not realistic about that, you're bullshitting yourself. The fact that they went, like you said, and got all those, they sent all those picks for you, and Mister Irrelevant, we're talking about, took your job. And how many times did he lose his job? And with the Jets, the Panthers, like, dude, at this point they gave up on you. So all that bullshit that John Lynch was saying, oh, we want him here. Cal Shanahan saying we want him here. Shut the hell up. Y'all did not want him there. If y'all wanted him there, y'all would have did him better and showed that again. Brock Purdy might be better than you right now in our system, but you're the second string. Y'all brought in Sam Darnold for a reason. Like, y'all not fooling nobody with that nice play bullshit. That shit was like, that shit was getting to me. It was. That shit was getting to me. He was the GOAT. Chill out. He, he was the GOAT. Chill out. No, not yet. It is on my to do list though. I do plan on watching that. It don't matter. It's Tebow. It's my guy. It's my guy. That shit is so stupid, dude. Like it's so stupid. Oh, in October he's still gonna be here. Now we're gonna give you permission to look out and but you have to do it by Tuesday's 53-man cut roster date. What the what is happening? Like Ursay doesn't. That's what I said. Ursay is so all over the place. He is so all over the place. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's not. Yeah. That's not us. Yeah. I agree. It's nonsense in a way that how they're handling the situation. I think it's very very poor um, being reported, and the sources within the organization of how it's being communicated to the media. It's just all over the place. Let alone when do you actually see for the NFL for a player to seek out a trade for themselves and their agent by their agent? Like who does that? Usually it's just the GM saying, like speaking with other GMs about what offer they could best get for the team. Now it's all of a sudden it's, oh, you if you seek one out by this day, like why are they threatening it by a day knowing they want the guy? Let's be all real here. They want Jonathan Taylor on that team. They know they need him. They're just not willing to pay him the money that he's demanding, but they want him on that team. So you're saying it by the 53-day roster date like you're going to cut him. That's not happening. Let's be real. They want him on the team. They just want other teams to feel like they want to pretty much have the leverage. They want to feel like the other teams, Give me your best offer within a week, less than a week's time. If let me see how desperate y'all really are to try and get this guy. And Dolphins, of course, was the main team that apparently not all only did they offer, but the Colts did rejected that offer. Like they rejected it already. Um, what did you hear was the offer? Oh, that was funny. I was waiting for it because I knew who the second team was. But also now, I definitely think now with the um, other update with Jerry Judy, I think now they're more desperate for production. So I do think the Broncos are going to kind of go all in on that. Hopefully, they're able to do that. Obviously, as a fan, I want that. But that was the only two teams that I actually like saw that was actually offering or that was named rather. I didn't see anybody else. Did you? Mm. Bro, the man is 24 years old and right now is a top 3 running back in the league. Why wouldn't people want him? I'm confused. It's not like he's 27, 28. He's 24 and is a top 3 running back. Mm-hmm. They wasn't the best. They wasn't good at all. They were not good. Like they weren't. And every year Jonathan Taylor did what he needed to do. He did what he had to do. That was my next question was give me your top 3 teams that you think would be a good fit or that yeah, the top 3 teams that he should consider going to. Addison? Yeah, him. I said Addison. Williams coming off an injury though, like you said. Williams coming off an injury, let alone to to my knowledge, they're talking about even possibly including him in that trade though. Well, the three that I saw that I was like I was intrigued by. First, obviously I'm gonna be biased and say Denver. Um, I think it would be a good fit in what Sean Payton likes to do and how his style of play is. But also the Bears, unfortunately, because we know they was in the Dalvin Cook sweepstakes a little bit, and they've been in the running back market a little bit. They haven't put themselves out there completely, but they've been they've been looking, but they haven't been completely uh, letting the world know that they've been looking. Um, mm, I was about to say, you said, I ain't gonna lie, you just said Minsky, you said Khalil Mack. I said, huh? But I knew you meant Herbert. I know who you was talking about. They ain't Jonathan Taylor. They ain't Jonathan Taylor. Everything. I agree. And my last team, so it was the Broncos, the Bears, and this is the sleeper team, but because of their freaking status, and we was just somewhat talking about them with Trey Lance, the Cowboys. I'm just saying they are a splash team. They are desperate in a sense of they want to win now. They feel like they have the team right now to compete with the Eagles. If they get Jonathan Taylor, they feel like that puts them above the Eagles in a sense of freak just getting to the playoffs. We're winning the division and we're beating you in the playoffs if we need to. I think if they was to do that, obviously Tony Pollard or Vaughn, one of them has to go in that trade. But I think it does make them a offensive powerhouse if they was to get Jonathan Taylor. So those are my three teams that it's just like one of y'all got to make a move, but don't let it be the Miami Dolphins. I don't want him going there. I just don't. Oh my God, the little Don Darren. Look, they could keep him. Just get rid of Pollard. Send a second round pick and Pollard to end. I mean, yeah, but yeah, I get that. Mm, That ain't happening because Sunshine, being Trevor Lawrence, is not letting his college teammate and close friend, go. He ain't letting that ain't rocking, and that's your franchise quarterback. So that ain't happening. Just get that out your head. But I get what you mean. I do get you. I hear you. I hear you. Man, it's been so many of them recently. It's been oh my god. And it's not even the fact that it's been a lot of them. It's more it's been they've been actually brawling. Like before you see people like get a little haymaker here and there with their helmets on and it's just like I mean they have football equipment on. Who gives a fuck, right? But if you watch the Jets if you've been watching the Jet series and what the hell is the name of the series? Damn, too Hard Knocks. Damn, too much Black Label. Hard Knocks. That shit, you actually see the coach is like, no, they need to fight. They need to let this shit out now. They need because our practices haven't been intensified. It needs that intensity, and it's just like, okay, but that's with each other, well, within the team. Now imagine when you get these fights from team to team, they're gonna end up stopping these joint practices because of the simple fact it could risk injuries. Um, it could go beyond just football. Like if somebody actually takes off a helmet and pulls off a Miles Garrett and it's helmet to helmet swinging, that's damn near assault. Like it can get that far. And I think at that point, that's when before it happens, I think the league needs to look at this and be like, we need to take accountability for ourselves and our players and stop this completely. And that's where I wanted to go with this topic. That yeah, I I do think at some point they're going to either say teams have to make the players accountable, meaning they're either going to do something more than just a little fine or stop practice or something. They have to either do that themselves or the simple fact the league is going to say no more joint practices. Let alone, in my personal opinion, I don't see what the fuck is the point of joint practices anyway. That's just me. That's just me. I get the fact that preseason is like, again, it's for people that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be on the roster to join the roster. That's what it's for. It's also a warm up for the regular season for the starters. But for joint practices, obviously the only time that happens is the preseason. There's not like they happen during the regular season because I mean you're not doing that with 53 man rosters and people getting injured, etc. That's not happening. So the only time we're talking about obviously is preseason. That's clear. But the simple fact of the matter is players, like you said, starters are the ones that's getting involved in this. We talking about Max Crosby, Travis Kelsey, regardless if they're if it's like some of these incidents were within their team. The ones within their team, I mean, with Travis Kelsey, for instance, it was within the organization. That's just, I mean, it's gonna happen. You got competitive people, blah blah blah, and he takes ownership, etc. But the joint ones, like the Philadelphia and the Colts one, that was more like, I mean, the Jason Kelsey blindsiding somebody, and apparently everybody reacted because of it, and then all of a sudden a whole fight breaks out type shit. Like, I mean, what is that really sending a message towards? Like, what is the point of that? What if somebody did get hurt? Now, imagine if somebody gets carted off the field because of that, and then everybody wants to react and respond to it. That's my point. Everybody wants to be. They're not proactive to the shit. They're waiting for something to happen, then responding to it. Are you really caring about your player's safety all of a sudden at that point? No, y'all don't really give a fuck. Y'all thinking about the regular season and getting better and better. But that shit can happen. And again, until it happens, nobody gives a fuck. And it's just a matter of somebody's going to get hurt in one of these dumbass fights over y'all sitting there doing one-on-ones and Tyreek Hill kicking the fucking linebacker's ass off of a route. And it's like, oh my God. And the linebacker feels like shit. So he goes up and swings at him. Like, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. I just don't see the point of it. That's just me. I don't see the point. Protective. Like, again, you had Williams, the defensive tackle. He's sitting there getting into it with other linemen, and he's sitting there just like, we needed this shit. We needed this. Like, we needed the intensity and all that. And I'm just like, yo, y'all couldn't do that with yourselves no more. But it's just like, come on, like it's football. Y'all can't hit yourselves. Y'all gotta go fight other people. But again, imagine if he got hurt, then the league would look at it differently. If a star got hurt, fuck a starter. If a star got hurt, they will look at this shit totally different and they will respond differently. But because it hasn't happened yet, because it's going to happen, that's when they're going to make a rule about these joint practices. I just don't see it. I just don't see the point of it. That was as a fan, yes, it is. But as a again, for what they've been preaching and bitching about, let's be real. For the last couple years about player safety and all this extra stuff, no, it doesn't. It doesn't add up because that's the whole point of preseason. The whole point of preseason is to play other people. Why do you need to practice with them? Why do you need to show them possible routes and all that stuff, regardless if the people are playing being the starters or not? It's still like, what is the point of your second string defender going against my first string? And that's the whole point of preseason. I just think it's pointless. I really do. What the fuck? 4 days out of the week. That team gets there on Monday. You play them on Friday, but we're going to practice against them 4 times, and then we're going to play them in a real game on Friday. Make it make sense. Yeah. The hell I don't, but okay. The fuck, a lot of things to factor into that. But all right, go ahead. Go ahead. All right, let's start from the bottom. Let's start from the bottom, being like, let's start from the bottom, being coach of the year. I mean, yeah, nobody wants to hear about the coach of the year last. Who gives a fuck? So let's keep the year. Coach of the year first. I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna give it to the Colts. Um, and the old offensive coordinator that is new, the Anthony Richardson head coach of the Colts. I'm gonna give it to him. I think he gets coach. I forgot his name. I can't forget his name. I can't. I just watched their preseason game yesterday. I did. I'm sorry. I can't remember his name. I did. I'm a fan of Anthony Richardson. I'm a fan of him. So again, that's my coach of the year, and the only reason why he's my coach of the year is because I think he gives Jacksonville a scare and makes them play good in the end of the season for the division title. And I think they're gonna the NFL is gonna be shocked by it. Not to say they make the playoffs because they don't, because the AFC is just too tight. But I think they still possibly give it to him because of the simple fact, first year head coach, what he has, and all of that. I think he gets coach of the year. So that's what I'm going with. Well, I think Jonathan Taylor's gonna be there. I don't think they trade him. I don't think they trade him, honestly. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna trade. But they don't want to trade him. They don't. They bluffing. Yeah. Dougie P. Dougie P. I respect that. I respect that. Moving on to defensive player, defensive rookie. Excuse me. Goddamn, Trey. Defensive rookie. And my pick is might surprise some people, but Joey Porter Jr. of the Steelers, cornerback. I think the system is going to fit him. I think what they're doing over there, and they got Patrick Peterson as a freaking mentor for him. I think that's going to benefit him very, very well. Again, it's a young team in their division. He's going to have people to go against to show his abilities. I could have went with the obvious, being the Texans um, defensive end, but again, I like Joey Porter better. So I'm gonna go with Joey Porter Jr. Hmm. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm listening. Yeah. I respect that. I'm seeing a lot of his name, so I'm not surprised by it, but Mm-hmm. Dangerous. Learning. He's learning from him. He's learning. You can just the better receiver you're learning. Um. All right. Offensive rookie of the year. Offensive rookie player of the year. I'm going with, of course, I'm standing at AFC South Division. I'm going with Anthony Richardson. Y'all kind of probably knew this from my previous from the previous content and episodes, but Anthony Richardson, I do think is going to have a great year. I think he's going to show what he's capable of in the long run. I think he's going to show you that he is a franchise quarterback with all his characteristic and his traits. I just think the guy is a freaking beast. So it's just a matter of him applying it, learning. His team might not be great off rip, which is fine. Learn and keep moving forward in the sense of building on to next year and what you can actually do. But I do think they go like 9-7, I would say, or 9-8, and or yeah, 9-7. Excuse me. They go 9-7, and he goes from there. So I'm gonna go Anthony Richardson. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just don't want him to run his way to that award like Justin Fields. I just don't want him to be that caliber. I think he has way better. He's a way better passer. Seeing him in preseason, he takes a lot of gambles and chances. His the main thing he needs to work on is his high pass. Like a lot of his passes are high because he thinks his receivers are tall as fucking shit, and it's just kind of make it more reachable for them. Hit him in the fucking chest rather than making it them use their hands. So I do if he does that, I think he'll be fine. But I just don't want him to run to the award in the sense of his running stats are better than his passing. Like stay away from that area because you're better. You're a way better passer, but you are an athlete. Don't confuse the two. Don't let one overlap the other. But you are a quarterback first, and I think that's what he needs. He wants to prove is that he's a quarterback, not just a runner. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Moving on to comeback player of the year. Um, this is obviously mostly for freaking people that have been injured or yeah, just injured or haven't played. They had to sit out a year or something like that. Um, I'm not, bruh's not even a starter. Come on, bruh. Yeah. Yeah, that shit is whack. I'm sorry. I'm not soft America. I don't plan to be soft ever. You're not gonna get that bullshit. Oh my god, here's a pity award. It happened. Okay, you're not a starter. You're not gonna be a starter. Like, no, hell no. I'm not even paying no mind to that. But we're not just gonna just give out award because of we feel sorry for you. If that's the case, we need a I feel sorry for you award. And that's the case, Trey Lance needs the shit. Like, come on. But no. Yeah, Poy. Who was it? Both of them say, yeah, they. Yeah, that ain't happening. But my comeback player, I don't know if he actually qualifies because of the simple fact it was his fault that he he was in the situation in the first place. But the gambling guy, Mr. Calvin Ridley. So I don't know if he qualifies or not. But if he does, I'm going with him. But if not, if not, my second person I would say would have to be um I'm gonna go Jamal Williams. I mean Jamal. Javante. I can't I'm listen. Javante Williams. I don't know why I'm thinking of the Saints right now. I was thinking of the Saints. I was thinking of the Saints because I just got a text message from a Saints fan and it threw me off. I'm sorry. Eh. Javante Williams tore his ACL, MCL, and I think he's going to bounce back and he's going to have the career season if he's on the roster still, if he's not traded for Jonathan Taylor. I think he's going to have the bounce back season, and yeah, he bounces back from it. So I'm going to go with him. Mm. Yeah. Respect that. Defensive player of the year. We're moving along. Yes. Nah. Defensive player of the year. Mine might shock some people, but again, if you've been keeping up with us, I am a big believer. I'm gonna say I'm a big believer in the Cowboys this year, so I'm gonna go with Micah Parsons. I think this guy is going to be a dark horse MVP candidate. People are gonna be like, "Oh my God, a defensive player never gets MVP." Blah blah blah. That's because they never had one good enough. No, well, we're going backwards, so I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it is, but I wrote it down differently. My bad. I already said it. Defensive player of the year. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Michael Parsons, hands down. I think he's the best edge rusher in the game right now, um, and I think he is a force to be reckoned with. And I think the way he's been talking, I've been loving it in the sense of he knows this is their time. If they want to do something, they got to prove it on the field and not just talk it like how the Cowboys have the history of doing that. And I have him as defensive player of the year. Yeah. I'm weak. I think the only thing I would say against yours is that I think because of his team, it's going to take away from him. Even if he has to have a crazy, I mean, crazy year in order for him to get it. But I get what you mean, though. I get it. I like it. I like it. I like it. It might not shock some people, but it might. Um, pray to God now. Pray to God now. He's more of the dark horse MVP conversation. But no, I'm gonna go with the guy who got traded last year and played crazy good in the system. I'm gonna go with Christian McCaffrey. I think because of his abilities and his ability to be flexible in the sense of he can do everything. He's an every down back, pass. He's a pass catcher. He's a runner. I think Cal Shanahan has more time now to actually abuse his abilities and all his traits now with a full offseason with him. I think he's going to be the dark horse offensive player of the year in the sense of he's going to do it all, and I think that's why he gets that award. He can stay. He's going to be able to stay healthy with that kind of offense and not have to carry the whole load, and it's going to show with his stats. So I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey. Mm. It's crazy. That was my number two option. That was my number two option for no offensive player, and the reason why I was really really debating it was because, and this leads me, this goes into the next topic, which is the MVP. Who do you think is going to be MVP? And my MVP is in that same division, and people are going to bite me in the fucking. They're going to tear me up for this. People are going to tear me up. But I am a strong believer in Deshaun Watson. I am. I've been preaching this for however long in regards to ever since he got to Cleveland. I said give him a full year in Cleveland. A full year in Cleveland. And he's going to show you why they traded what they did for him. They're going to show you why Cleveland committed to him the way they did. And I think all he needed was a full year. Yes, he hasn't played a real full season of basketball, football in 2 seasons. I understand that. But if you understand, before he got all that shit happens, this guy was on pace to be one of the greatest quarterbacks statistically ever. I do not believe that shit is going off of 2 years of not even playing. I don't believe that. I don't. I just don't. And the fact that he did what he did with the bum ass Texans with no receivers and he still had the crazy stats he had, I think now you're about to see Lamar fully unleashed. And I hope he's able to get back to his form and be a top 10 quarterback in this league. And I would say not even top 10. I would throw him in the top 5 to 7. It's arguable. I would say 5 to 7. I want to see him get back to that, and I hope he gets to the point where he's able to dominate that division, which is tough. I would say the top two toughest in the league. And I hope he dominates that and he shows the league that he is who he was coming out of college. So I got Deshaun Watson. Who you got? Mm-hmm. Listen. We're not here for you to debate who my pick is. Who is your pick? I'm done. I'm done. If you pick this fucking, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I would. You are. Give him the best sloppy top ever. Yes, because I was completely off guard by this. I know who I have to win it. I just don't know who's in the other conference because it really doesn't matter. But that's just me. But go ahead, you go first. Mm. In favor of who? Pray to God. All right. First, huh? So San Fran is winning it. Yeah, I'm confused. So you have the Bengals winning it all this year. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. All right. Um. So you're a dick rider because I also have the 49ers going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't have them playing the Bengals. Of course I don't. I think it is because out of that question that you asked about Patrick Mahomes but Mahomes or Joe Burrow, Burrow's not even close. He's not even close. It's not even a conversation. He has not proven himself in any way to be in the same category as Mahomes. Not even close. Yes, he beat him twice. Yes, he beat him twice. Yes. But he's not better than him. I don't care if he beat him twice. He didn't beat him. His team beat him. He didn't beat him, Patrick Mahomes. His team beat him. We all know Tom Brady's better than Peyton Manning. That's not a debate. We all know Tom Brady's better than Peyton. But Patrick Mahomes is way better than Joe Burrow. It's not even a conversation. We're letting that one little Super Bowl get too far, and it's just like again he ain't win it. So what are we really talking about here? Um, and they wasn't even they had one guy on offense. Anyway, I got Patrick Mahomes going against San Francisco, and I do have San Francisco beating Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And I would say the score being like 30, 37 or pretty, somewhat similar to this year, like 37-34 or 37-30. But I do have San Francisco winning it all this year. But we're talking about offensive player of the year, Christian McCaffrey. And we're talking about a healthy Brock Purdy. I think they're just, yeah, you should be scared. Because motherfuckers forget he was undefeated before motherfuckers came for his elbow and said, Papa. So that's just, that's different. But Nah, you said 14. You said 14. Not at this moment, no.